Item 2.2, declaration and roll call vote of subjects discussed in closed meeting. May I have a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion to adopt the certificate of closed session as listed.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. May we have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs. Is there any discussion? Ms. Lau, will you please give us a roll call vote, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs. And thank you, Ms. Lau. Item 2.3, approval of personnel action. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the personnel action as presented.
Thank you, Mrs. Hodges. May I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Ms. Bohannon Stewart. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 2.4, approval of student action number 7. May I have a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the student number 7 action as described in closed session.
Excuse me, Mr. Morgan, can you rephrase that to be spoken as the approved action?
Okay, to approve the long-term suspension of student number 7.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. May I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Ms. Bohannon Stewart. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Seeking a motion to conclude closed meeting. May I have a motion? Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me. Item 2.5, excuse me. Approval of request for release from compulsory attendance of student number 8. May I have a motion?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the request for release from compulsory attendance of student number 8.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs. May I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Ms. Bohannon Stewart. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. There being no other business to conclude, this meeting is adjourned. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 Mathews County School Board regular monthly meeting. Item 1.2, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 1.3, Ms. Lau, may we have the roll call?
Here?
Present.
Here?
Here.
Present, thank you. Item 1.4, election of the 2026 School Board Chair and Vice Chair. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to nominate Mr. Morgan as vice chair for the next school year.
Thank you, Mrs. Hodges. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There being none, congratulations, Mr. Morgan. You are our new vice chair.
Do I get a raise?
No. No.
Double your bonus.
May we have a motion for chair?
I make a motion that Dr. Gibbs serve as our chair this year.
Thank you, Ms. Bohannon Stewart. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Madam
Yes,
Chair.
Mrs. Hodges.
as we've spoken personally, I just want to take this opportunity to publicly commend Dr. Gibbs for her leadership, her professionalism and thoroughness over the last 2 years as she served as chair of this board. She's been a phenomenal leader. She's always prepared and she's always responsibly transparent. And she has raised the bar for all future chairs. With that said, it is my belief that chairs should serve no more than 2 consecutive years in that role, after which other board members should have the opportunity to assume this responsibility. I believe this contributes to healthy and productive boards. However, we are a young board, with most of our members having served 2 years or less without experience as vice chair, which I believe is critical to learn the chair's duties directly. So with that said, even though I don't, it's not a value that I have that a chair should serve more than 2 consecutive years, I do support Dr. Gibbs in this continued role for the next year, her 3rd term as chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hodges. Any other discussion?
Thank you so much, Dr. Gibbs, for, these well-run meetings. You've been great at helping a new member, me, get used to how things work, and appreciate the job that you've done as chair, and so.
Thank you.
Fully support you being chair. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being willing to do that.
Thank you. You're welcome. My honor.
And I would say the same. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. I'm honored. Item number 1.5, approval of the agenda additions and deletions may have.
Do we need to move? I need to move with Dr. Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mrs. Hodges.
I guess if you're vice
This will
chair, we
just
did.
take a moment.
Okay. I'll move.
Linda, do you move in his, or do I move?
Is that jacket going on to you?
I'm kidding, not at all. Take me a lot.
I got you.
I still have
Oh, this was, thank you.
Okay, wow, different perspective.
too many things.
There is no upgrade in seats. I will say that.
Yeah, we can swap that out.
Settle? Ready? Item 1.5, approval of the agenda additions and deletions. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as listed.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs. May we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Bohannon Stewart? Was that you?
Oh, it was Ms. Hodges.
Mrs.
But
Hodges,
I
thank
can
you.
second it, too.
Go with Mrs. Hodges. Thank you. Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Item 1.6, the consent agenda. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of December 12th, 2025 special closed meeting, minutes of the December 16th, 2025 budget work session, closed meeting and regular monthly meeting, 2026 school board meeting schedule, FY27 revised budget calendar, and monthly claims as presented on the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mrs. Hodges. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Is there any discussion? There be none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now, here we have our claims sign-ups. If everyone could please get their calendars out, we will be working to sign up for February 13th. That is a Friday, Ms. Diggs, as we have discussed.
Yes,
So,
please.
Ms. Diggs for Friday, February 13th.
Yep.
And then we are looking for participation on March 16th, April 20th, May 18th, June 15th, and June 29th.
I'll take March.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
I believe I can take April 20th. As I mentioned earlier, I left my calendar at home, but I think I looked earlier.
Thank you, Mrs. Hodges. we do have I realize we do have we do have a schedule conflict with Ms. Bohannon Stewart for mornings. I will take both June dates if someone can see their way clear to taking May 18th.
Dr. Gibbs,
And Ms.
may
Dix-
I, in June, is it possible to do it maybe on a different day than Monday or Tuesday?
looking? Check on that.
Okay, because if so, I'm glad to switch.
Okay, all right, that'll be helpful. Mr. Morgan or Ms. Hodges able to take May 18th, or we can leave it until next month?
Can we leave it till next
Yeah.
month, and I will promise
Sure.
to bring my calendar?
Okay. Ms. Lau, is that all down? Thank you.
What was the date in March?
Mr. Morgan, the March date was the 16th.
16th, okay, thanks.
So February 13th, Ms. Diggs, March 16th, Mr. Morgan, April 20th, Ms. Hodges, May is blank, 2 June dates, 15th and 29th is Gibbs, and Ms. Diggs is looking into it depending on the days of the week that it is. All right, item 1.7, Mathews County School Board Governance Norms and Protocols. We do go over this, 2 pieces of information every meeting. I'll go ahead and start this one this month, and this is on the use of social media. Board members are discouraged from posting comments, liking comments, or replying to comments on social media regarding school board matters. And then how, when, and whom to notify about visiting school sites. School board members should contact the superintendent prior to visiting school sites. Note that that does have the word should in there. I will say that our governance norms and protocols will be revisited at our work session on February 25th. We go over this, we review this, and we have a new member on the board, so we'll be reviewing all of these every year or two. So we'll be looking at them again this year. Item 2, recognitions. 2.1, Mathews High School Music Department with Mr. Mark Givens. Please come up and tell us all of the wonderful things. And I want to say that the recognitions category is reserved for super outstanding achievements on behalf of student groups in our schools, and I know that you never disappoint. So we're looking forward to this, Mr. Givens.
Thank
Thanks
you so
for being
much.
here.
Thank you to the board for inviting me to come and present tonight. The focus tonight is on our marching band season this year. We had our students just showed some incredible character this year with their marching band season. As you all know, we after one home football game, we lost our football team, unfortunately, this year, but our students maintained dedication to performing both for our community and in competitive performances. Kind of on the home front in Mathews this year, we had several highlights. We had an alumni band performance, which featured 3 siblings and 3 parents of our students that came and performed with our students, which is really exciting. We had our Future Marching Blue Devils night, which featured 14 of our 7th graders joining us. They are all very excited, so it's looking like we could have up to 50 on the field next year, which is really exciting.
Wonderful.
A growth
Fantastic.
for us. So.
Testimonial to your leadership.
Thank you. And we had our homecoming field event, obviously, and our parade. So we did a lot in the community, as well as some informal performances, both at the middle and elementary school and at market days and some other things in the community. Outside of our community, our students go out and compete. We went to 4 competition and assessment type performances this year at the Gloucester. Sorry, I lost my place here. At the Gloucester Bands Along the Bay event, we competed in Class 1A, and we placed 2nd in Class 1A there. At the Kecoughtan Warrior Classic in Hampton, we competed in Class 2A. There were lots of smaller bands there, so we're competing mostly against bands larger than us, and we also finished in second place there, which was really exciting. And then at our state assessment event, we received excellent ratings in both our marching and our music. Our marching, since I have been here, we have not received an excellent rating in marching, so that has come up some, and we're continuing to improve and continuing to grow in that year over year with our students. Also, one of the highlights of the year was that at the Kecoughtan Warrior Classic, which was our last competition of the year, our drum major Jordan Sadegh was recognized as the best drum major in Class 2A, which was our most competitive class that we were in the year. So that was really exciting for her. She works very, very hard, and she was recognized at the Board of Supervisors meetings earlier this year. I know the school board also wanted to recognize her for that. I know she tonight is at a indoor track meet because she does all kinds of things, but wanted to be here to kind of receive that on her behalf. So we have lots of really exciting things coming up this semester as well, with students receiving lots of individual honors for all district, area band, state band, all those kinds of things. So I hope to be able to present some of those recognitions and individual honors to you all at the end of the year. Those are kind of still in progress right now. So.
Well,
Thank
stay
you all.
there while we give you a round of applause, because I
Thank
think
you.
you are an amazing leader in our school's division. Thank you. You have really grown the program. The children are thriving. It's fantastic. And I know that you alluded to Jordan Sadegh and her amazing achievement. She's actually falling under number 3, the item number 3 on our agenda, which is Student Spotlight. This is something that we have created to highlight a student. It won't be monthly necessarily. This is a student who exhibits extreme achievement in some area. Jordan has the distinct honor of being our very first student to fall into this category of Student Spotlight. Unfortunately, she is not here, but if you would be so kind as to give her her certificate of Student
I certainly
Spotlight
will.
from the school board. Thank you, and thank you to Jordan. Great job, Jordan. And in fact, we are collaborating with the Board of Supervisors so that our Student Spotlight candidates are also presenting or presented in that setting as well, so that we can reach as many people in the community as possible to know the shining stars in our schools. Congratulations, Jordan, from afar. Okay. All right. Item 4, questions or comments from the school board student representative. Ms. Ward, you're on.
Thank you. So first, we have the updates from Mathews Elementary School. Students and teachers alike really enjoyed the winter break. Everyone returned well-rested and ready to get back into the routine. For the last 2 weeks, MES has been testing. Upon return from break, students completed the mid-year VOLS testing. The CIP benchmark window is open now, so students are working hard to show what they have learned so far this year. The students are also working hard to level up in Lexia, which is a supplemental and intervention tool Mathews Elementary School uses to help strengthen reading skills. Our students love Lexia, and they get so excited when they get to move to the next level. We celebrate student success with a video shown in classrooms, and we have a giant bulletin board outside of the Reading Center. Students stop and check out the names on the board, and you can hear them congratulating each other. Beginning this week, MES is starting a school-wide reading initiative called Tiger Tales. Our own Teacher of the Year, Ms. Tom Canny, created this program. Each month, one class in every grade will unexpectedly find a Tiger Tales bag on their classroom door. They will read the story together that they find inside the bag. Next, they will book another class in their grade level by passing the tote to a different teacher. This is a fun way to share the love of reading. In March, Mathews Elementary School will participate in Virginia Reads One Book. This year, the book is Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. Chesapeake Bank is helping MES to sponsor this program. Every child in our school from grades pre-K to 5th will receive a copy of the book. We are very excited to kick off this program on March 2nd. Our 4th grade students won the Be Present Award for the month of December. The 4th grade students were wildly excited to win this award for the second time this school year, holding the record for the grade with the highest attendance for the month. Students are buzzing about the possibility of snow days, and they are making plans to wear their pajamas inside out. Thomas Hunter Middle School students have also had a great month of learning. We had a school-wide goal of no zeros in Power School, and our students have been trying to get all work turned in and submitted. Parents, there are only a few more days of the quarter to ensure that all work is turned in. Congratulations to the December Students of the Month, Presley Marrero and Ellie Sowers for grade 7, and Declan Franks and Avery Hensley for grade 6. These students are nominated by classroom teachers. Congratulations. We would also like to express thanks for those who supported the SCA food drive at Thomas Hunter Middle School. Your donations provided needed food for Hands Across Mathews to help those who are in need in our community. There are still spots open for students to stay after for the all-in tutoring for any THMS student who needs additional support in reading and math. Please contact THMS main office for more information. Thomas Hunter Middle School science students had the chance to plant daffodil bulbs out front with the help of some local master naturalist gardeners. Stop by in the spring to see their handiwork in the front of the building. Parents, please remind your child if they are missing any articles to check the THMS Lost and Found. Any items left will be donated on Friday, January 30th. Also on January 30th, the THMS SCA is sponsoring a winter ball from 6 to 8 p.m. in the Brooks Auditorium. Students need to RSVP to attend, and a sign-out sheet has been sent out to parents to send in food for the event. Next week, we begin the second semester of the academic school year. We are expecting continued progress in all classes and appreciate the partnership with families as we instruct our amazing Seahawks. And then for the high school, we've only been in school for 2 weeks since the last report, but a lot has happened in those 2 weeks. We had a lot of fun celebrating Spirit Week the last week of school before vacation. Mathews High School had a lot of students participate in the annual Mathews Christmas Parade, including members of the NJROTC, our athletic teams, and our Blue Devil Marching Band. Thank you to everyone who donated a coat for our FCCLA coat drive. We also appreciate members of the Mathews High School National Beta Club for helping our community with the Christmas store. Thank you also to everyone who bought a Tidal Wave Car Wash gift certificate to support our junior class and senior prom. Key Club is hosting a winter fundraiser in the MHS cafeteria on Friday, January 23rd. Delicious baked goods will also be available for purchase at the event. We also had several members of our marching band travel to Newport News to audition for All District Band, and many of them achieved honors. Most notably, Hunter Owens placed first in symphonic contra alto clarinet, and Jordan Sadegh placed first in concert clarinet. Thank you.
I just have one question. The Inside Out PJ Day?
I don't know if it's an official day. I think it's more of a superstition for the snow day.
Oh, okay,
But,
gotcha.
Yes.
Brings snow. Okay. But not too much snow, so we can't have school.
Right.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Moore.
you.
Thank you.
Maybe we're half of it inside out, maybe.
All right. We're on item 5, student achievement. We're going to be, Dr. Daniel will be discussing the ASVAB testing results and STAR data.
We can start with that, that's fine. So, okay. So we'll talk about 2 different tests. So ASVAB is the Armed Services Vocational Assessment battery. So we'll go through a couple years of assessment. So historically, what the high school did was only students who were interested in going into the military or wanted some sort of career battery assessment would sign up to take the ASVAB. So the consequence of that was probably about 15 students on any given year would take the ASVAB. That changed last year because ASVAB results became part of the school performance and support framework, the new accountability system for the state. So one of the areas that the state looked at for measuring the success of a high school was how students did on the ASVAB. As a result, schools across the state started giving everybody the ASVAB because students could acquire points, if you will, towards that framework. So last year, we gave the ASVAB to all students in 11th and 12th grade, with the notion that each year going forward, we would administer the ASVAB to students in 11th grade each year. So, if I'll back up a little bit. So the profile in 23-24 looks a little bit different than it will in the next two slides. So the profile of how our students did in terms of the points that they would earn towards the SPSF kind of is going to look the same for the most part 24-25 as it does 25-26. We're requiring all 11th graders to take the test, whether they have an interest in going into the military or not, because it's part of that state accountability framework. The result of that is that not every kid has an interest in the ASVAB. So in 24-25, you see a lot of students who earned 0 points, meaning they're, the last slide goes into some explanation about what score range qualifies for points. So what I would say is, in terms of performance, last year's test administration to this year's test administration are fairly similar. So there's not a whole lot of trend difference or improvement from last year's cohort of ASVAB students, or the students who took the ASVAB, to this year. And I'll be honest, I don't anticipate in future years there's going to be a great change in the ASVAB, because it doesn't really apply to most of our students. It's really only relevant for a handful of students who either have an intrinsic motivation to do well on every assessment that they're given, or they have an eye towards the military and they want a certain score on the ASVAB in order to qualify for a certain position within the military. I think I misspoke. So the ASVAB is Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. So really the purpose behind the ASVAB is to determine enlistment eligibility and to assign applicants to military jobs. It does provide some career inventory skills that the counseling office can use to help students. I talked a little about bullet number 2. Previous years was request only. So what we're doing going forward is every student in 11th grade takes it, and then students who missed it in the previous year, either as seniors, or we'll also do kind of a makeup session in the spring, those students can also go back and take that ASVAB. The accountability system is cohort-based, so it's not on how we did in any given year, it's on how the students who just graduated performed on that assessment 2 years ago, or when they took it. So the ASVAB is scored on a 0 to 100 scale. School divisions receive 1 point for students who score a 65 or better, 0.75 points for scoring between 50 and 64, a half a point for scoring between 31 and 49, and 0 points for scoring below 31. So now that you have that frame of reference, I'll kind of go back and show you sort of how the bands break out for the students who took the ASVAB this fall. So the distribution is relatively similar this year's administration to last year's administration. Again, it is what it is. In my mind, it's an odd metric to measure, part of a measurement for the school. It's an independent third-party sort of assessment that can be universally given, so I can see. But in terms of relevance for our students, it's kind of tough.
Well, that's my question.
Put a whole lot of merit into it.
What is the relevance to the students in their words? Do you have any feedback from the students on this test?
I don't know that I do. I think
Be curious.
they're compliant,
Yeah.
but I think when I look at the test results and kind of compare it, there are students who go in and just sort of, I think the phrase was Christmas tree it, and so they just sort of zigzag on the multiple choice, or it's just very, very random. But then there are also students who take any sort of assessment seriously, and so they knock it out of the park and do a great job with it.
Right. Mrs. Hodges.
You know, now that you brought it up, I do remember in my career class that the ASVAB really is one of the better tests for helping people select what career they want to go into. I'm wondering if guidance or school counseling office sold it as that this is a tool that you can use to help you get an idea of what you're good at and what careers might be out there regarding what you're good at. Do you think that might make a little bit of a difference?
I think it'll make a little bit, and
totally,
they do some of that. I mean, there's, hey, this is beneficial, and I think the counseling office will use some of the test results as they have meetings with students and planning meetings for whether it's post-high school plans or like schedule planning for their senior year. Using it.
Good.
Again, like being 15, 16 and being told, hey, this test is going to really help you predict your future. You know, it's the right thing for us to do to help students. Receiving that message is sometimes difficult, though. So, any other questions on ASVAB? No.
Thank you.
Can we switch to the other presentation, please? Okay, thank you. All right, so again, universal screenings, that's part of our multi-tiered systems of support. So we've been giving the STAR assessment for quite some, so about, this is our second full year of doing it. So we have 2 years worth, 2 previous years worth of winter assessments because we started this process in the 23-24 school year during mid-year as part of kind of our onboarding to multi-tiered systems of supports. So what we've seen as we've been able to grow data meetings, and that has trickled down into the schools, into the grade levels, I think we're really starting to see some traction in terms of gains on this STAR assessment. Again, the STAR assessment is a snapshot in time. It's supposed to be a relatively quick assessment that's nationally normed to give us an idea of how our students are doing on a norm reference basis. We can cross-reference that to some criterion referenced assessments for SOL, so it gives us some predictability, some remediation strategies in terms of where students need help and how to help them. So for our winter screenings, we've seen some great growth and again, this is reading for the elementary school. So we've seen significant growth there at second grade, and then sort of really moving down the line. We see a little bit of a dip in fifth grade. So we're having those data meetings to kind of figure out what happened there, why the growth isn't really what we anticipated. But I think one of the areas to look at is not just at the benchmark level and the gains at the benchmark, but looking at each grade level from the urgent level on up and seeing how those numbers, like we're starting to see students sort of moving up in those categories slowly but surely. Looking again at reading, staying in reading, looking at grades 6 through 8. Again, we administer STAR reading in grades 2 through 8. So again, seeing some growth, a little bit of growth there at the 6th grade level. Have a dip there at 7th grade, but then again seeing some decent gains there at the 8th grade level, and seeing some growth with our students. The trend really continues in math, again, starting at the elementary school, at the lower levels in 2nd grade, seeing quite significant gains in mathematics at 2nd grade level, then again at 3rd grade level, at 4th grade level, really seeing some gains again at 5th grade level. So lots of good math work happening at the elementary school. Part of that, I think, is some staffing and doing some intervention work with math. It's also just having those resources. Again, looking at middle school, again, seeing some pretty good improvements in across the middle school, 6th grade, seeing some big jumps. 7th grade, I will caveat, everything is difficult in 7th grade. Life is difficult in 7th grade. We talked Chromebooks in 7th grade are difficult. So if you can make gains and do great work in 7th grade, you're a magician, because just like it's 7th grade is a tough time. But again, we're seeing like the number of students sort of moving up the line. And again, as reference, it's all students in that grade. So especially when we talk about math, you start differentiating a bit in math. So we're going to have 7th grade students who are taking Algebra 1, who may be taking some other advanced coursework. This is all 7th graders. It's not just students who are in Math 7. Okay, so just keeping that reference point. And then in 8th grade, again, it's all students who are in 8th grade. They may be in grade 8 math, they may be in Algebra 1, they may be in geometry, but these are all the students and their performance on the STAR test. So we're finishing up CIP benchmark testing this week, and I think kindergarten VALS testing is also wrapping up this week. So we'll be able to take a look at how those assessments sort of compare. But I feel like this is, there's a reason sometimes like kids have a bad day and they don't score well, or we had the day we administered, there may have been a fire drill or something. So there are lots of reasons why you could have a bad snapshot. It's hard to fake a good one, so I'm a little more confident that these are, the positive is for real, as opposed to, oh, it's just a fluke day. They guessed right. Like, it's hard to fluke that. So, any questions
Comments
about
from the board?
universal screening?
I mean, I think what we said is just exciting. Finally, I feel like we've turned a corner.
Yes.
Especially significantly in math.
I think we're making traction. Like, I don't think this is like, we still have work to do. There's still work to be done. I don't like, oh yeah, we're, everybody's going to MIT. But I think we're making progress in both the use of data, how we take the information, apply it to instruction. I think the work of the teachers and having tools, having resources, using it to target in day-to-day tier 1 instruction, but interventions. It's a credit to the work that's being done in the schools and in the classrooms, and it's not easy. It hasn't been easy. It's not gonna get easy, but I think we're starting to see the return on the investment of time and energy for sure.
But for 2 years, we've not seen this kind of report. This is the first time in over 2 years.
We've not had a lot of 70s pop up and high 60s pop up. You're right.
And I think in math, every single grade made progress, moved up.
Right. So, okay.
I would say that this is fabulous. This is why we're here, and what we focus on, we win at. And this a corner has been turned. Keep up the momentum. I applaud the teachers, the students, and the staff for their efforts in making this happen. This doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by accident. It happens with concerted effort and intentionality by all those concerned who serve our students. Thank you so much for this report. Item 6, citizens' questions, comments, or requests. Comments not pertaining to personnel or student matters. Protocol for public comment period. Mathews County residents and school employees wishing to speak should sign up with their name and address on the sheet provided. Each individual will have 3 minutes to speak. Comment period will end after 90 minutes. All comments should be directed to the school board. Speakers shall not address matters involving students or personnel, as these topics may violate confidentiality and are not appropriate in a public forum. Public comment is the school board's opportunity to listen to the speaker. Since our purpose is to hear from you, the board will not engage in dialogue with the audience or whomever is at the podium. Matters requiring a response will be directed to the superintendent for research and response. The superintendent may report back on such matters at a subsequent business meeting session as appropriate. The school board carefully considers your comments when deciding on matters brought before us. We appreciate your attendance and your input. Our first speaker to the podium is Mrs. Kelly Lockerbie.
Good evening. I wanted to come here tonight to publicly say that I have filed a state special education complaint with the Virginia Department of Education, which is currently under investigation. The state also recommended that I file a discrimination complaint directly with the Federal Office of Civil Rights, which I have done. Over the last few years, the division has repeatedly disregarded my various issues with the special education implementation. The lack of concern shown by the board and superintendent is disheartening. To realize that even within a public organization dedicated to children, that they don't even care about my child. It's sad for my son. I recently removed my son to homeschool, not because my husband and I want to homeschool or feel that we are prepared and adequate to do so, but because we must do so to protect him from further harm. This division has repeatedly shown alarming carelessness with him. You have subjected him to unqualified, untrained staff.
Ms. Lockerbie, please reframe your comments so they do not divulge anything that could be construed as personnel confidentiality.
Okay, you have subjected him to violence. You have disregarded his rights. You have discriminated against him as if he were nothing, insignificant, and unworthy. Special education is rarely a matter of concern or discussion with this division leadership at school board meetings, only when it is made an issue or that there is budget cuts to be made. Students in general education have various tests and assessments, VALs, PALs, SOLs, remediations, put into place if needed. Students with disabilities have none of these things. They have their parents and caregivers trying to ensure that they get what they are supposed to, fighting this division every step of the way. You went out of your way to ensure that parents are extremely limited in their ability to observe. I wish that last year when I reached out to you about summer school and the discrimination that I perceived, that you would have used that to put in place a policy to prevent further discrimination by this division. Ultimately, my son will be okay. I have the means and the determination to ensure that he gets everything he needs: curriculum, tutoring, therapy, and enrichments. But there are parents in this division who cannot. These are the parents and the children. They're why I'm here tonight, because I do care. How the children who are disabled are treated or allowed to be treated in this division speaks volumes about each and every one of you, with your silence speaking the loudest. But make no mistake, we hear you and we see you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lockerbie. Ms. Rebecca Mullins.
I come here with a very heavy heart to let you all know Wednesday, my special needs son, who is in a self-contained class, was assaulted by a student that we've been here numerous times about. I got a call a little before 1 o'clock on Wednesday from the principal saying my son had been hit and kicked multiple times. But he only had a small red mark on his back. Do you want me to send him back to class? I said, no, I'll be right there. So I left. I called his PCP. I got him from school. I went straight to Deltaville. He was seen by his PCP. His nurse that has seen him his whole life asked me where he was assaulted. I said his back. She lifted his shirt. His back was severely swollen. She dropped his shirt right away and ran out and got the doctor. My son was assaulted. I then reached out to people. I have asked repetitively, what can be done? Can we remove the child? Can the child have any repercussion at all? Who knows, because I don't really get a response back, except that the superintendent will handle it. And since Wednesday, I haven't heard from the superintendent at all, not even Wednesday. I have a call in, but I haven't heard anything back. I went to see his doctor again Saturday for a follow-up because Miss Ranson is awesome and does that kind of thing. And she wrote a script for homebound because I cannot send him back. His anxiety is too high. He cannot go back into that class. This is really sad. He needs self-contained class. He needs special education. He deserves a special education. After leaving his PCP on Wednesday, I came home to get more of his diapers because my son is diapered, and then I went straight to the police department and found out I wasn't the only one that had reported an assault on the same child, that there's multiple. I also found out that the school has not reached out to one parent in the class to tell them that there was an assault in the class. So I started a group chat and told them all and found out, guess what? There's more. I did not divulge the name of the child that had assaulted because he needs help too. He's also suffering. He's not getting the care he needs. He's not in a division that can help him, clearly, because it's multiple assaults. I ask, and I'm coming before you all tonight, that you do something about this and not keep letting it go on, not keep letting children be assaulted, not keep letting kids be hurt. They matter to us. My son only has one spine. He shouldn't be afraid to go to school. He shouldn't be assaulted at school. If you were in your work environment and your peer walked up to you and assaulted you so bad that your spine was swollen, you would press charges on that peer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mullins. Mr. Ken Childress and Mr. Brian Donnelly.
Ken Childress, Mathews Robotics Club's coach. On January 10th, I attended a robotics competition at Glen Allen High School. It was sponsored by VEX Robotics. It was 40 high schools that signed up. I think there were about 35 there. And it teaches the students how to work together and build a robot to accomplish a task. And Ms. Gibbs was there too. Do you have anything to say about it? Or
It was a fabulous event. I hope we can participate in it in the
we
future.
want to try to do that next year. We have several kids in that robotics class now that are active. It meets on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock after school. We appreciate the board for giving us this opportunity and the administration at the high school. We're going to try to do this next year. And as soon as we get our classroom set up at the high school, we can do a better job.
Thank you, Mr. Childress. Mr. Donnelly.
Brian Donnelly, Mathews. Thanks again to the board for supporting what we're doing. Just a quick update on, as Ken said, on Wednesdays we do meet with the students. We're currently disassembling a number of robotic platforms that we have. The best way to learn is to take it apart, and then we're going to build what we want. They're all excited about the prospect of participating in that competition next January. We have a long way to go, but we're excited to be there. So thanks again for your support.
Thank you. Thank you for all you're doing for those students. Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Edith Turner.
Good evening. Just to share a little bit of information, the Mathews NAACP has decided, after talking to a couple of teachers at the elementary and middle school, that we're going to do a drive to raise, to donate tissues and hand sanitizing wipes to the teachers so that they don't have to buy those things out of pocket. It's cold and flu season, and a couple of teachers have said that they're running out of tissues, don't have enough sanitizing wipes. So we're doing a drive. Anybody who wants to donate, you can do that. You can reach out to me, and we'll even come and pick them up for you and see that they're delivered to the schools. Thank you.
Do you have a deadline for the drive, Ms. Turner? Do you have a deadline for the drive?
We're going to try to do the first delivery February 3rd, and then if we have to, we'll do another one later on in February.
Thank you. I don't have any other people signed up to speak. Is there anyone who'd like to approach the podium? There being none, public comment will be closed. We will move on to item 7, Superintendent's Informational Reports from Dr. Daniels. Item 7.1 is the attendance update.
All right, so real quick, I'll just talk through a little bit about the attendance data. So we do this, again, monthly, kind of comparing year over year. Oh, sorry. Hey, there we go. Sorry, it's confusion as to like, am I getting assistance with scrolling or not? So, so again, with the month over month, we're looking year over year data for December. Looking at students with 5, those are parent excuses. Again, looking at the high school, Thomas Hunter, and the elementary school, we're seeing a slight increase in the number of students who've exceeded that 5 parent note for the semester. If you remember, a couple years ago, we put in place, in an attempt to combat some of the attendance and chronic absenteeism, putting a cap on the number of days per semester that parents can excuse. So that cap is set at 5 days per semester. Days in excess of 5 become unexcused absences. The exception to that are doctor's appointments, court visits, things along those lines. So what Ms. Thomas does is she tracks the number of students who have exceeded that. So at a certain point, warning letters are issued. So the good sign there is, so we don't have students who've gotten to the point where attendance letters or warning letters are being mailed. So those numbers are down in 2 of the 3 schools. And then again, attendance plans have to be developed prior to taking students to court or filing issues with court services. So we're down across the board in the number of attendance plans that have needed to be developed. The board asked about tracking tardies. So this is looking at tardies to school during the day. So for the month of December at the high school, we're averaging 16 individual students tardy per day. At Thomas Hunter, that is 2. But at the elementary school, that is 12. So if we think about, I think the common thought is, again, with high school, you have a lot of student drivers. They're the ones who are having a struggle getting up, getting out of bed, getting to school on time. But a pretty similar number of individual students being tardy is occurring at the elementary school. The number of students, tardies, per month at the high school is 192. So that's over half of our students. We're tardy to school at the high school, and then 19 and 147 for the elementary school. One of the things that, as we were asking questions and kind of digging into the attendance and tardy data, one of the things that Ms. Thomas looked at was immediately following snow days. We, especially at the elementary school, had a pretty significant increase in tardies, as there were more parents who were driving their students to school in the days immediately following an outage due to snow or bad weather. So if it's concern about the roads being completely clear, completely safe, or just after a snow trying to get back into the routine, whatever that cause is, there's a pattern of, at least especially at the elementary school, of increased tardies to school directly after days out for weather is something. So we'll figure out like what we can do to help combat that a bit, but that's something that we've taken note of. Any questions on that attendance?
When you're looking at the number of tardies, number of students late per month, for example, at the elementary school, the 147, it's not 147 unique events, but there are clusters by specific students.
You see a pattern. I mean, so you're going to have siblings in that cluster, but I think it's, my understanding is it is 147 different students over that time. It's not. So yeah, so you do see quite a bit. I can get some clarification on that to make sure I'm interpreting that number correctly.
Okay.
But it's still, it's a steady stream of kids flowing in at the schools.
And in your opinion, is absenteeism something that is a good thing to focus on and should be, we should keep an eye on?
I think we need to keep an eye on it. It's really hard to influence that. You can talk carrot or stick in terms of how do you incentivize students to make it more appealing to come to school on time and do some, to be there more regularly.
Right.
And then the stick is, okay, what are the consequences for tardies, for absences? And so I think the board has struggled a little bit over the years with what are appropriate consequences. We've seen tremendous gains in terms of chronic absenteeism over the last 2 years. So the outreach and the communication to families has helped improve. I think we've seen then the academic achievement increased as attendance has improved. But there's sometimes it's a cultural piece where being on time isn't as valued as maybe it could be. Attendance may not be as valued as it could be. Sometimes it's got up late, the car's not working, we missed the bus. I don't think that's the norm, but those situations do occur. So I mean, it's a hard thing to nail down. It's easier to try to nail down during the day tardies because the kids are already in your door. So tardy to third period or fourth period is a little easier to curb and corral. But getting kids to school and getting kids to school on time is a much more difficult task. Mm-hmm. Like, we can't just reach in with an alarm clock and grab kids and drop them into first period.
I agree.
But I think it's because it's a measurement for like a federal measurement and a state measurement,
Yes.
like for us keeping it on our radar, I think is important.
Right.
And it impacts so many other pieces too.
And I do hope it remains mandated to be kept on, because I do think even though it's hard, it's something that when it's not looked at, it really can get away from you. And I think you've made great strides, and the board kind of tightening up the policy did did help on that, and so, yeah, we'll just keep looking at this as a regular item. Members, comments, questions? Yeah.
I just, I hesitate to comment because I think at the elementary level, you can't punish the student if the parent brings them to school late. And I've stood out there when I was over at the elementary school, and it was the same driver, the same mom, or the same grandmom, or the whoever, who arrived late coming, and the same in the afternoon was pretty traditional. So I think it's a problem, and I don't know the answer, but I think maybe just the encouragement of, oh, good to see you here. Glad you got here on time today. I don't know what else, but I know it's been a problem for a long time.
Thank you, Dr. Daniel. Item 7.2, financial report from Mrs. Emma Hundley, our CFO.
Good evening. Just give you the report through December as far as our overall expenditures that we have expended through December is 40.33%. But I wanted to give the board information as far as the perspective of how our budget is broken down. That 80% of our budget is personnel and benefits, and then you have 10% that's basically purchase services, and then 5% of it is materials and supplies, and the other 5% makes up miscellaneous supplies, tuition payments, and capital outlay and transfers. Just to give you an idea of how everything is broken down, but we're monitoring the purchase services so that making sure that we're staying within our budget, and if we need to see what areas where we need to cut back, we will. But overall, through December, we're on track as far as to, for our budget through December. But I also wanted to give a overview of our school activity funds. The audit is every year, and you guys have a copy of it, but it's posted on our website underneath our finance page under financial information. But it's done every year by Robinson Farmer Cox, and it gives different recommendations as far as for each school. And going forward, we will be doing a audit ourselves before their audit to make sure that everything's in line, so that we have some type of perspective of what could come up in the audit when it comes in July and August. So just want to give you an update on that too. Is there any questions from the board? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mrs. Hodges.
So coming from Newport News, you just gave a breakdown of salaries versus purchase of services. Was it pretty much the same breakdown in Newport News as far as?
As far as Newport News, I work for
schools.
The
schools, yes.
I'm not sure because I didn't work for the schools for Newport News.
Okay.
I was at the city. So, but normally the budget is broken down by, majority of it is composed of personnel and benefits. That's a normal across the state of Virginia.
Right, clearly it's majority would be salaries. I just was wondering if ours is pretty consistent with other divisions, or if we're a little lighter on the salaries or heavier on the salaries. I was just curious about that.
As far as the breakdown, we are right in line with other divisions as
Okay.
far as the percentage for salaries for for what we budgeted.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Diggs.
Thank you for this document. It's helpful. As I read more of it, it'll be more helpful. Thank you again.
Mrs. Huntley, I have a question regarding the activity funds. When you get the report from the auditors, I have a request that the board receives that report plus any remediation or follow-up on recommendations that they may make. so that we are all making sure if there are any policy changes that need to be made that would help implement those recommendations, that we are aware of them and that we make them. Is that possible?
That
Thank
is,
you.
that is possible.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Huntley.
So moving on to 7.4. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. So
7.3.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I shouldn't have jumped in. Should have let you do it. All right, so 7.3, some other additional items for the board. So Ms. Hunley just reviewed the line item expenditure report, but she also talked about those activity funds that you have a copy of the audit. So they're monthly. Again, just as a reminder, so those monthly reports are placed in board docs, kind of expenditures, account balances. All of that is reported to the board each month for you all to take a look. I think it's relatively impressive to look at the volume of accounts that the school-based bookkeepers work through, the balances that are in those accounts, and just kind of what flows through that financial office at the school level. The Virginia 250 update, so with a lot of work from Ms. Diggs on the board, kind of taking really the lead for this board and helping facilitate some partnerships. We have a school liaison now, so Ms. Mary Beth Burrows has agreed to be the liaison for the school, between the school division and the Mathews VA 250 committee. Ms. Burrows, Ms. Simpson, and I had a meeting last week to kind of talk through and brainstorm some ideas on some partnership notions. So Ms. Burrows is going to hopefully, I've connected Ms. Burrows to some members of the local 250 to begin that conversation so they can start communicating directly. We can brainstorm on ideas. I think we had some pretty interesting ideas for maybe what we could do for summer, possibly doing a camp. I think somehow weaving into the passport program that VA 250 has been talking about.
Great.
So we're interested. We'll see kind of what we're able to make happen with the local committee's partnership and supports. We talked a little about SAIL 250 and what we can do there. So I think we've opened up the door for some pretty cool things to happen, partnering with school division and the local committee. So that's just kind of a quick little update on where we stand with that.
That's fantastic, and I want to thank Ms. Diggs specifically for your boots on the ground work and collaborating with Ms. Burrows. Only great things are going to happen. Thank you for all your energy out there on this. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for most, well, not all of us, all of us in its own way. Yes, yes. Yes. All right. Item 8, we'll move on to 8.1, school board conferences and webinars. Members, you'll see a variety of due dates on mandatory training that you must take with your names in red. And those, just make sure you're aware of your due dates. We do see information from SBMA that has been posted here on opportunities for those of us who are members of the School Board Members Alliance in terms of training. So that will be appearing again in addition to VSBA conferences and workshops that are available. Item 8.2, we are at board and committee reports by school board members and superintendent. And I have a Bay Consortium work development meeting in a couple weeks. I don't have anything to report. Does anyone have anything to report from any recent board meetings they have attended? Governor's School?
Ms. Bohannon Stewart and I attended the Governor's School meeting, which was face-to-face, the only one face-to-face. Others are through Zoom. It was last Thursday at Rappahannock Community College in Warsaw. We had two 11th grade students who presented on their biology project, which I thought they did an excellent job, and each were from Richmond County Schools. Talked about budget for this next year, where I believe it was 1.25% is their steps. They're about in line with us, except for that 1.25%. So that's one of the reasons I raised that issue earlier today. I did share with Ms. Leslie Hunley earlier. I forwarded her, so I'm not sure, Dr. Daniel, if he received this, but they gave a draft calendar for next year. So just to have that in hand when we when we develop our own calendar for next school year, you just have that to review.
And so just a little background for board members. So frequently in our Region 3 meetings, we'll come early to have a meeting with Dr. Wright from CBGS. And we frequently will have conversations about calendar and trying to align calendar. We tried to do that last year. I thought we were in alignment. And we approved our calendar the month before everybody else did, and then everybody else has changed. So that's why, you're not seeing a first draft of a calendar this month. I'm waiting until next month to put forth a draft of calendars so that then by March we can have an approval. So yeah, I thought we were aligned last year with spring break and a couple other things. But that didn't pan out.
And that's the reason I forwarded to,
Yep.
you know, but that's laid plans, like you said last year.
And they're in the
Worked out
middle.
that way.
They struggle with different spring
Yes.
breaks and start dates, and they're trying to wrangle 13 or so different school divisions and different scheduling times, so they can have a consistent schedule for their students.
They still have, I can't remember the number of vacancies, but at all three campuses, there are openings for additional students. Do you want to add anything to that, Ms. Brandon Stewart?
I really enjoyed going, being a former science teacher. I really enjoyed the presentations, and so.
Great, wonderful. Before we move on past item 8.1, please take your calendars out again if you have them. We are going to establish members who will be attending Board of Supervisor meetings. I attended the January 15th meeting. We're looking for those to fill February through June. I would like to take March 19th, if that's all right with everyone.
This Board of Supervisors.
What's the date in?
Okay, February 19th, March 19th, Gibbs, April 16th, May 21st, June 18th.
Dr. Gibbs?
Yes, Ms. Diggs.
I'll take February the 19th.
Thank you. Ms. Diggs will take February 19.
I didn't get them all down fast enough.
Oh,
Where's the?
I can do April 16th.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan will take April 16th.
When? Yeah, that's the same as the same. When was the one in March again?
I'm going to take that, if at all possible, March 19th. I will take that one. We have
Okay,
May 21st and June 18th.
May 21st.
Dr. Gibbs, you're April, did you say?
I'm March.
You're March.
Mr. Morgan is April. Any takers for May or June?
I don't have anything on my calendar for May 21st,
May 21st. Thank you, Ms. Bohannon Stewart.
so I can do that one.
I would be glad to look at my calendar when I get home for June 18th.
That would be wonderful. We will
sorry.
we will
I'm a
pencil
broken
Ms.
record
Hodges in,
tonight.
but she will check.
I have it written down in my notes.
Thank you. Ms. Lau, do you have all that? Thank you. Moving on to item 8.3, the naming of member to serve on the Middle Peninsula Regional Special Education Program, MPRSEP Board. I will gladly take that role unless there is any opposition. Good, thank you. Moving on to item 8.4, the naming of the member to serve on the Chesapeake Bay Governor's School CBGS Joint School Board. Ms. Bohannon Stewart, I believe that's you. Have you agreed to make that change?
Yes,
Mrs. Hodges has been serving in that position for multiple years, I think,
At least 10 years, I believe.
and looking to roll off. So Ms. Bohannon Stewart
Yes.
will roll on.
I'm
Okay.
excited about it, if you guys
Wonderful.
are good with that.
Thank
So.
you. All right, moving to item 8.5, the policy committee discussion. Members, we have spoken individually. I've spoken individually with each of you on this. Is there any discussion that we'd like to have regarding this in open meeting? I just would like to say that we've been talking about the policy committee as a standing committee for a long time. We do have a policy that frames this committee, but we do need 2 members. And I believe we have a solution.
I'm willing to serve on it. I think this is important that we start being proactive in this. Well, we are reactive, we're a little late, but we need to start doing this in a deliberate manner.
That's the word, deliberate, yes. So, Mrs. Hodges, and I believe we have,
Yes, I'll do it.
and Mr. Morgan, thank you very much, both of you, for stepping up to that. Of course, this is always collaborative, but the 2 of you will comprise the standing committee and work with the superintendent and admin as needed, and consulting with the entire board on all of the work done in the policy committee. Thank you very much. Item 9, agenda 9, action items, 9.1. We are looking for approval of policy services through School Board Member Alliance, SBMA. May I have a motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion that we adopt the policy services agreement through the School Board Member Alliance.
As listed?
As listed, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Ms. Bohannon Stewart. Discussion. Yes, Dr. Daniel?
Just one point to note on the, reviewing this a little bit today, the terms and conditions for like item, page 2, item number 1, it talks about it being half year. It ends on May 31st of 2026. So I don't know when the board is planning to think about re-upping. So if we don't act until the end of June, we may be out for a month, which we've been without policy services for several months at this point. So that may not be as big of an issue. But looking in terms of what's written down, so terms and conditions, it says it's for 6 months. But then item number 10, it says divisions are purchasing this service for a full year. So they may need to come back and edit that this agreement would be for 6 months as opposed to being for the full year.
Where's the line up? 10?
So item number 10.
Divisions are purchasing this.
January, February, March, April, May.
So just,
I question the verbiage on that, if it's pertinent to our specific division, or if it's a general statement about divisions.
right, so just, there may just some clarification
may need
on
some
that as you
clarification
guys
on
are
that.
thinking through.
I mean, to me, January 1, February, March, April, May, that's 5, but it says 6 for a half a year term. That's 6 months. So I don't understand, that's confusing to me. Under terms and conditions of number 1, for a half year term.
My understanding was this was for full 6 months, prorated for 6 months. So that would be,
Prorated, that's.
yes, a prorated amount because they provide policy services on an annual basis.
Right. So 6 out of 12 months is what you're
Right,
saying,
right.
not 5 out of 12
Right,
months.
you're right.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm
That is
following.
correct.
Okay.
Now, I do think that because they will prorate this, that adjustment can be made to this agreement, because their services run June to the end of May. So I think that's what it is. More clarification is needed on that point.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Cut you off.
Go ahead.
Prorated fee for that period is $1,050, correct?
Correct.
And for the full year, it is 2,100?
Yes.
Was it? Okay, so you're paying half of the amount.
Yes, but it appears that the term is not correctly stated.
The term is only, on this bulletin, is only covering 5 months, not 6.
Correct. Yeah.
I have a question. If we adopt this, does that mean that we just adopt the policies from, the policy services from the SBMA?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, this does not have to do with membership in
Okay.
either organization.
okay.
In the event of a mistake in the dating of this, we may have to table this for clarification on the points. I think as a group, we know that policy services is something that we want to secure and that we need to secure. I believe that we can, I don't want to table, but I see that we need to table.
To clarify the
I do,
dates.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Shall I withdraw my motion?
Would you be willing
We
to,
can table it. We can just table them.
just table, we're just in table?
Okay. So we just make an additional motion?
Do I need to make a motion to table?
Don't we make a motion to table? Can we make a motion to table it?
Yeah, let's make a
I
motion
think
to table.
so.
I'll make a motion to table it.
Thank you,
We'll
Mrs.
make it up
Hodges.
as we go along.
I second that.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Diggs. And any discussion about the motion to table?
This is strictly for clarification of the dates?
Yes, for the key points that Dr. Daniel has brought up, the wording on item 10, and the month that seems to be 1 month short
Right.
on item 1. Any of these other things for?
Those are just notes for me to talk to you
Oh,
about later.
okay,
That's
okay.
all.
Especially like that it says half a year.
Yeah, does not comport. Does not comport. Agreed. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
We're agreeing to table it.
Correct, that is the motion.
Aye.
Okay. All those opposed? Motion passes. Item is tabled. Item 9.2, the approval of out-of-county tuition waiver requested by a school employee. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the out-of-county tuition waiver requested by a school employee for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Ms. Bohannon Stewart. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 10, citizens' comments on items discussed during the meeting. The same rules will apply. Do we have anybody who would like to approach the podium? Please state your name and address.
Sharon Fry, Port Haywood. Being a school board member is a hard and difficult job, most of the time thankless. I come up here to thank you for your service. You don't have eyes in the back of your head. You have no control of what one student does to another. I'm sure you put personnel in that's adequate, and sometimes it's not. So I thank you for your service.
Thank you, Ms. Fry. Is there anyone else who'd like to approach the podium? All right, there being none, we'll move on to item 10.1, school board member comments. Yes, Mrs. Hodges.
I'm sorry that Ms. Lockerbie and Ms. Mullins have left. As a parent of a student, of a child in has special needs, it's a very difficult situation being in a public school with other children. I'm sorry that they're experiencing what they've presented. I would like to say, though, that just because, and it's not just for this matter, but any personnel matter or student matter, just because we don't address it publicly does not mean we don't take things seriously, we don't take concerns seriously, and it doesn't mean that we don't discuss matters behind closed doors, in closed session as appropriate, one-on-one with the superintendent. I don't want the public to presume that because we don't speak about it publicly, that we don't take every matter that's brought before us seriously, because we do. So thank you very much, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Mrs. Hodges. Anyone else have any comments to make?
I really appreciate all those who comment. I always learn a lot by listening to everyone, and I thank Ms. Turner for doing the fundraiser for the teacher supplies. Too many teachers take money out of their own pockets, and so I really appreciate the community, members of the community, when they give back to teachers who dig into their pockets way too much. Yes, so thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bohannon-Stewart. Any more comments or reports now? Item 11, school board member reports. Yes.
All right, a report on Sale 250 that Dr. Daniels has mentioned and Dr. Gibbs has mentioned. The Mathews County Public Schools has Mary Beth Burris, one of our Teachers of the Year, taking the helm for Sale 250. Our application is in, and soon we'll be paired with one of the 60 ships coming to Norfolk this June, the 19th to the 23rd, to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. Ships from all over the world are joining in this world-class maritime celebration. I'm pretty excited about it, I'll tell you. 10,000 officers, cadets, and crew from 20 nations will be in our waters and in our towns, providing programs and developing bonds of international goodwill. Norfolk, being the largest naval base in the world, is proudly hosting the ships and the crew. Mathews 250, the Mathews Outdoor Club, the Gwynns Island Civic League are all on board with events for this once in a lifetime event. The Mathews Library is holding a poster contest in February with Rachel Morris assisting Mathews High School student entries. The Bay School is accepting further artwork. Judging will take place in early March, and cash awards will be presented at the Bay School. Details on this contest will be in the local paper this week. I believe, Charlie. You hope. Me too. We anticipate staff members at each of our schools engaging their students in a project for Sale 250. As participants and projects develop, we will publicize it in the Gazette Journal. Mrs. Burris, we are extremely grateful to you for heading this up. Please know that you have support from the county. waiting to assist. We should soon know what ship we will be paired with for this wonderful event. You all stay tuned.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Diggs. That is awesome. Wonderful. Any other comments, reports, anything? No? All right. Great. Moving on to, yes. Yes.
So just to give the board a little heads up on winter preparedness, and so as we're planning for the potential for significant snow and the ripple effects then for next week. So I've asked principals to ask their teachers to prepare packets for remote work. So teachers are preparing 3 to 4 days worth of activities, worth of lessons. Ms. Lindbergh in the cafeteria is starting some planning to think through providing food and lunches and the things like that. So hopefully, while most of the weather models are sort of coalescing around a pretty significant event, we should have better detail, a pretty good indication by late Thursday. So my goal is to be able to really make a pretty good decision by Friday morning to send things home with students on Friday. Monday is already scheduled to be a teacher work day. So then looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, how to handle the remainder of that week. If we're expecting, if we end up getting the amount of snow that they're calling for in double digits of inches, that's probably going to take us out for most of the week, because I don't think temperatures right now are forecasted to get much above freezing. So we're putting some pieces in place. A lot of folks are moving to be able to use some of that time. Like I don't want to be the guy who killed snow days, but at the same time, we've, in terms of recouping instructional time and doing things to like still get out of school on time and keep student progress happening, teachers are prepping for that. So principals and I had a conversation last week about putting that in motion before we started seeing all the forecasts. So we had to sort of speed up those plans a little bit. So we don't have we don't have a one-to-one with Chromebooks. Not every student is assigned a Chromebook. We don't have the bandwidth quite yet in the community for it to be a digital day. So we're doing a bit old school and running copies and making packets to send home with students so that they can work on some review activities, catching up on some of those activities, stuff like that. So just like we're planning to try to mitigate some of the impact of what looks like a pretty significant storm.
Did I understand you to say that it sounds like they're going to be sending meals home with the students? Is that kind of what?
So Ms. Lindbergh and I have had a very brief conversation about what that would look like, since we're talking about making a decision on Friday to send things home for later in the week. So what does that look like? Like I don't know. So she and I will circle back tomorrow to brainstorm a little bit on how that can happen and how what does that look like? Because we don't have enough time to order different kinds of food and preparation and things like that. So we'll touch base tomorrow to think through how many days we could do. Maybe we could only do one day, maybe just based on what we have in stock. So.
Would you kindly, once you decide on that, kindly shoot us an email just to let us know, kind of, it doesn't be that specific, but just a general idea of what the plan is.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good information. Thank you. Item 12, other business by school board members or the superintendent. So
Sorry.
there you go. Item 12.1, just a reminder that the school tour for representatives of the community and civic organizations is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 9 a.m. beginning at Thomas Hunter Middle School. And I would say be there a few minutes early if you are on that list to join that tour. Item 12.2, our next monthly closed meeting will be Tuesday, February 17th, 2026, 5 p.m. at the Brooks Auditorium here at Thomas Hunter. Item 12.3, our next regular monthly meeting will be that same evening, Tuesday, February 17th at 6 p.m. in the Brooks Auditorium right here at Thomas Hunter. Item 12.4, there will be a public hearing for FY27 school budget, Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 at 5 p.m. in the Brooks Auditorium at Thomas Hunter Middle School. And finally, item 12.5, joint Mathews Board of Supervisors and Mathews School Board Budget Work Session will be Tuesday, February 24th at 6 p.m. in the Brooks Auditorium right here at the middle school. Any other comments, questions? If not, this meeting is adjourned. Ms. Bohannon-Stewart?
Just a reminder, I was really hoping to get the master schedules at all 3 schools to help kind of understand the budget and how staff is spread out.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea, and that would be beneficial to the full board. Thank you. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Be safe out there tonight at on the weather, with the weather.